Hello and good morning. It's the day of the half marathon. It's now 5:24. Gotta leave here by about 10 to 6, so just got out of the shower and I'm in a bit of a rush. But I thought I'd show you what I've got laid out that I'm going to take with me today and what I'm going to wear. Essential piece of kit. My watch. This is foot cream to stop any blisters, compeed foot socks that stop rowing. We've got the vest I'm going to wear today, and still need to put my number on there. Underwear so I don't chafe. Shorts, hat, and a headband. Got just the top because it'll be a bit colder this morning. Some joggers I'm going to wear. Socks. These ones I'm going to wear. I'm not going to put them on yet because I need to put all the other stuff on. And yeah, the jumper. So I want to get ready and then head for some breakfast as well because I need to eat 3 hours before. So we're getting packed. Dad, how are you feeling?
Me?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know. My knees.
Your knees?
I'm worried about my knees.
You'll be fine. You're just sorting out my bib at the moment, aren't you?
Say again.
You're sorting out my bib because I'm too cack-handed to sort it. I'm going to have the same as I normally have this morning. About 3.5 hours before now, so in about 30 minutes I'm going to have some toast with some peanut butter and jam on it, and then if I get hungry towards the start, I'll either have an energy gel or about half banana. Really don't want to eat too much. The last half marathon I did, I ended up doing the biggest dump beforehand. It was very off-putting. So I'm not going to eat too much. But feeling ready. Feeling quite awake as well. Slept for 12 hours from Friday to Saturday. So my legs feel very refreshed. Haven't ran since Friday where I did 2 miles. So yeah, feeling very ready. Just going to eat this on the way. Just some toast with peanut butter and jam. And also going to take 3 bananas. Then this is more for during and after the race. I'm going to have one of these during, maybe one before, depending how I feel. And then for after, I've got this Shrek peanut protein bar. Also just got some pistachios for after. Go on, matey. Oh! So cold. It's a bit cramped in the back here. What have I got with me currently? Bag, which is packed with all that stuff that Stella did. Top with my name on. I'm wearing sliders because I just don't want to put any socks on or anything at all before you know what my feet are like. I've got my trainers with my little tag that records the time. I've got my toast, which I'm going to eat now. So, Mum's coming. Bless her, she's not got a good back, but she's making the effort to come, aren't you?
Sorry?
You're not too well.
Oh, it's just a bad back.
Just a bad back, but she's making the effort to come.
Because I'm
So the support counts. And Dad's
trooper.
stressed out because we haven't left on time, aren't you, Dad?
Sorry, who was going to the toilet at the last minute? Can you put that in one of the back things?
Why is that relevant?
Because it's partly blamed on me.
I went for a pee as well. Yeah, ready to roll. Let's put some motivational music on as well. We're here and it's Baltic. What? Where's it gone? How you feeling, Dad?
Apprehensive.
You cold?
No, I'm just apprehensive.
It's freezing, mate. Cold in Hampton Court. It's not windy, which is good, but it's cold. Not sure how I feel about this at the moment. How long have we got left? What's the time? An hour and a half. Sweet. Going to the start line now. Dad, how are you feeling?
What will be, will be.
I feel alright, to be fair. It's just cold. It's like 6 degrees and I'm going to be in my short shorts and a vest, so I'm crackers, but I'll definitely heat up on the way around. Let's go. Whoop, whoop.
Runners coming through now. Lots of runners here today. Hopefully record numbers. We had 3,500 here last
Got the sub 130, absolutely gassed. Still feel pretty good as well, so good day all round, nice flat course. Time to eat.
The Palace are
Go on, Dad! Go on, Dad!
this morning at Hampton
Proud
Court
of you,
Palace.
mate! Go on! Go on, Dad!
Congratulations! Smashed it, good work, Neil. Also there is Hannah.
So that is the half marathon done, and we completed what we set out to achieve, and we got that sub 1 hour 30 half marathon time. It was the original goal for my Leeds half marathon last year, which I fell a little bit short of by about 2 minutes, but we did it today. Not sure what my exact time is because it hasn't come in on the chip yet, which is attached to your shoe, but according to my Garmin and my Strava, it was around 1 hour 28 and a half minutes, I'd say. So comfortably, well not comfortably, but definitely below 1 hour 30. So I can celebrate. Felt really good. Hampton Court kind of route is really nice because it's very flat, minus a couple of inclines and declines. Like going over bridges, etc. But other than that, really nice. Wasn't too much headwind today as well, which is surprising given the week we've just had, but that helped out a lot. And the weather conditions in terms of the temperatures was really nice as well. I was a little bit worried this morning because it was very fresh and very cold, but it was about 8 degrees when we set off, so I could do it in my short shorts and in my vest, no problem. And it was pretty much perfect conditions actually because it didn't overheat, but I felt a very good kind of body temperature the whole way around. I stuck to my strategy as well today, which was really promising, and actually managed to maintain paces a little bit quicker than I thought it was going to. So that's really pleasing as well. And yeah, overall a really great experience, and maybe even do that one again next year. But that tells us that we're in a very good position for the training, and that it's paying off, all these miles that we're doing on a weekly basis. So I'm going to have a look and probably adjust my pacings a little bit for my interval workouts and my speeds. But my goal with the marathon is still that 3:30. I'm not going to get carried away by this good performance in the half marathon. But yeah, looking forward to the next run. And this man, what was your time?
10 minutes faster than last year.
Hey, you thought you were going to be slower as well, so very proud of him for that. And Mum, thank you for coming along and supporting.
You're welcome.
And thank you to my Uncle Phil, Auntie Lorraine and my cousin Adam as well, who came and supported today. It meant a lot. It meant that I managed to get a little bit of footage as well on my phone, so really appreciate that. But yeah, just going to enjoy the rest of the day and eat a lot of food. So in a bit. Right then, that's a wrap. What a day we've just had. Half marathon done. That is the kind of key anchor point in this whole training. It marks 7 weeks to go. It could have been a real confidence booster or a pretty demoralising performance, but it's been a good one and a really great day, a really great experience. So I'm set up very well for the next 7 weeks. Now, as we touched upon when I finished the race, when we were in the car, we know that I got that sub 1:30 time, which we were aiming for. But what time that was, we weren't quite sure. I thought it was closer at the time to about 1:28, because that's what my Strava was saying. In fact, we got a 1:29.09 finish, which I'm still absolutely over the moon with. I thought it might have been a little bit lower, but we're still good. In comparison to my last half marathon time, we've managed to shave off 2 minutes and 46 seconds, which is pretty good. But it was more comfortable than my last half marathon, and it was, I would probably say, paced not to perfection, because there's obviously always room for improvement, but in my eyes that couldn't have gone any better. I still feel surprisingly relatively good in my legs, and I did at the end. I was absolutely flying. My lungs weren't absolutely burning, and we've come through unscathed going into next week's training. So I just want to talk a little bit about what my plan was for that half and how I executed it. So I'll show some kind of like little snippets on the screen from my Strava just to try and illustrate that as best as I can to you. So I thought I'd start off with what my plan was in terms of the pace that I was going to set out and what my strategy was. Now, to get a sub 1:30 finish, you need to be running at a mile split of around 6:52, so 6 minutes 52 per mile. So my plan was to start off relatively conservatively, so to do about 7 minutes 5 seconds for the first mile, and then go into like 7 minutes for the second, and then hit those 6:52 splits, and then for the last couple of miles really hit home on some negatives, looking at around about 6:30 for the last two. Now, I actually managed to do a little bit better than that. Quite risky to do so, but I went by feel, which I think was a wise kind of strategy, because you can't always go by what you plan to set out to do. It's the same in training. If you think you're going to hit a certain time of a run, sometimes you just have to go by how your body's feeling, and I adjusted and it worked out pretty well for me. So I'm just going to be reading this off my Strava now, but to actually go through my splits as they were, but just to say, I didn't actually do a sub 4 minute kilometre, which is pretty good, but I think that helps to show me that I was very disciplined actually in my running. I could have, in the Leeds half marathon for instance, I did about 3 or 4 sub 4 kilometres, and obviously I got the 31:55, so I didn't pace all too well. I went too hard when I shouldn't have done, but with this one, not hitting the sub 4, that shows that I was disciplined. I'm really happy with that. So in terms of my splits, the first one was 7:06, so a little bit slower than what I'd intended to, but I think that was really good, because the next one, I went way too gung-ho. I had my Garmin set up so it read lap pace and average lap pace next to each other, and I was looking at the wrong one. Whereas I thought it was saying my average lap pace at that moment was, I think it was 6:49, so I thought I was going a little bit too quick. It was actually my lap pace, so in that second mile, I was going way too quick and I just needed to ease off, but I felt like I was flying. But even though I could have gone on at that pace, I knew that I would pay for that later on. So I strung back a little bit and ended up finishing that second mile at 6:49. Now I stayed consistently in the 6:40 to 6:50 zone all the way until mile 6. So I'll just read them out quickly. Mile 3 was 6:48, mile 4 was 6:41, mile 5 was 6:48, and then mile 6 was 6:47. So really good consistency with that. I was happy, considering I was aiming for 6:52s, but I had that little bit of a buffer. And then it slightly fluctuated between 7, 8, 9. 7 I got 6:39, 8 I got 6:44, 9 I got 6:34, so that was a really good mile, and then 10 I got 6:41. So that could be anything from, some periods there was quite strong headwinds, so that may have set me back a little bit. Some periods were a little bit uphill, a little bit downhill, so that may have quickened things up or gone down. And then from 11, 12 and 13, it was pretty good and pretty consistent. 6:42, 6:42, and then 6:36 for 13. And then the last like 100 metres, I did just absolutely go flat out and sprint for that. As you would have seen in the video, lost my legs a little bit while I was doing that, and they seemed to be flapping all over the place.
David. And a sprint for David. And a sprint for...
Yeah, resulted in that 1 hour 69 finish. Super, super happy with how I've managed to, you know, how those splits look, because that shows quite good discipline and quite good strategic play as well on my part. Almost planned it perfectly. You know, it would have been perfect if I got maybe sub 129. Nah. And then another thing I want to touch upon is my heart rate. So my average was actually 167. Now that is threshold. I think it was pretty consistently in threshold. So in terms of training effect, it was like a 4.2. So it was aerobic training. So pretty intense. I could have gone harder. I definitely went harder for the Leeds half. But I put that down to something called your heart rate drift. Your heart rate's not always the best factor to go by because A, maybe you have adrenaline, B, nerves, C, is the weather, is it hot, is it cold? That can all affect your heart rate, so it's not actually, you know, the effort that you're putting out. Obviously, if you're always overexerting yourself in terms of your heart rate, it's not good. But for this race, I'm quite happy with that. While I wasn't even running, because it was A, it was freezing, and B, because I was bloody nervous, my heart rate was like 120 walking before, you know, the race. It was mad. So that can happen. Ideally, I was looking to try and, you know, go out at an aerobic pace and then go into threshold later on, but I didn't actually look at my heart rate the whole time other than maybe the last mile, when I saw I was about 171, so I was pretty happy at that point. And I was going flat out, so yeah, that was good. One thing also, my actual place. So there were nearly 3,400 runners today. I placed 81st. Whoa, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And I started off, you'll see, in that first wave, I said middle of the pack, maybe even nearer the back. I overtook quite a few people, and that's definitely a confidence booster when you're running around. I remember with Leeds, I got overtook a lot. So to be overtaking other people and know that you're pacing yourself well, it's a very fulfilling feeling. I had a kind of like a little running buddy on the run. So I had the same thing with the Leeds half. When you run with someone for quite a bit and we're not talking to each other, but you're doing the same pace, so it motivates you not to drop off, and you see them next to you, you see them pounding it, out hard, and you've just got to do exactly the same thing. So there was this guy, kind of same build, same height as me. Might throw the picture up actually, just so you can see. He was with me from mile 2 to mile 4, and then he crept up around about mile 6, mile 7, mile 8, pounding it out honestly next to each other, kind of running next to each other, him going slightly ahead than me. I lost him a little bit. I think he stayed on my shoulder though until about maybe mile 9, and then we ran together again for a bit, and then when we hit mile 10, my legs felt good, and I was like, right, 5k. Think about when you're doing your tempo run and your 5k runs even, and when you're absolutely knacking, pounding it, you've definitely got it in the tank to do that kind of effort right now. So I just went for it, and but it was great because he was only about 30 seconds to a minute behind me in the end. So as soon as he crossed the finish line, I went over to him, shook hands, and like, yeah, it was a good little partnership we had going on there to push each other over. So that's one thing that's great. If you can find someone to keep the same pace as you and push you on a run, it makes all the difference. And just running on a race day in general, seeing all those people around you, it makes a massive difference as well. Thanks everyone as well. I put a little Insta post up, etc., and people have really been so supportive. I think some people knew, especially from Leeds, how much I wanted to get that sub 130, so the fact that I've actually got it now, it makes me feel so satisfied. Kudos to Dad, my man. Raised money for Chestnut Treehouse. I think he's raised 250, maybe a little bit more than that now, but he actually beat his time from last year by 11 minutes. He got 3:09. My dad's 64, and that is so inspiring to see that he's done that at that age, and seeing him, cross the finish line. Very, very proud of him. Very, very proud of him. He actually called me while he was going round. Don't know why he called me. He should have been out of breath. But at the 130 marks, he thought that I'd, finish at 130. He said he knew it. He knew I'd do it. So yeah, that just great to see him do well, and a great day all round for both of us. So well done, Dad. Very proud of you. Thanks to my mum as well for coming along and showing support, and also to my Uncle Phil, who I know watches these videos, is getting into running himself and is doing a fantastic job. Thank you so much for your support, and also my auntie Lorraine and my cousin Adam as well, who came along. And Adam film some snippets, and Phil filmed some snippets as well. It really means the world that you were there, and I really appreciate it. So thank you ever so much for that. But yeah, I'd just like to cap off this video by saying what this half marathon means for my training. So it means I'm going to adjust my paces in training, keeping recovery the same. I might speed up my 5 kilometre pace a little bit, my 10 kilometre pace and my half marathon pace, although I don't do too much half marathon pace training. Marathon pace stays the same. 3:30 is the goal. I'm not getting ahead of myself. That's that. So my paces will probably just be adjusted a bit. Going forward, we've got 7 weeks left. The next 4 weeks are the biggest weeks, and they are going to be the toughest. I'm going to film them. You're probably going to see me have all sorts of breakdowns, all sorts of problems with my feet, etc. But we've got 58 miles this week coming, and 62 the week after, 66 and 70. Building up to that 70-mile week in 4 weeks' time, it's going to be one of the hardest months for sure in my life. For sure. After that, it's all hunky-dory. We taper down. After that 3 weeks taper before the actual marathon itself, it'll be nice. It'll be nerve-wracking. I'm looking forward to it. I want to take it all in my stride, and hopefully you want to keep watching these videos and join the journey as well. So we've got 7 weeks now until the marathon. Some more money to raise as well for some Wilfrid's Hospice to get up to that £500 mark. So if you can drop a donation, the link is below, please. But fingers crossed we can stay injury free and get to the start line on May the 5th and have a good day. That's it for this video. Like, subscribe, share, make sure you check out the next video for Road to 26.2. See you in the next one.
Live it up, live it up, live it up.